Whether it's the Amex Platinum Card, Chase Sapphire Reserve, or any of the other elite credit cards, there's no doubt these are the ones we talk the most about. But they have a problem. In fact, out of these 6 elite travel credit cards, I only have 3 of them open. And there's a good reason for that. Perhaps in the past it made more sense to have multiple elite cards that you can use for different reasons. But now that we're in modern times, a lot of the things that we're seeing with these cards have similar patterns, and they're converging in a way that they have never done so in the past, making a lot of them redundant. So we're going to talk about why we potentially have been so wrong about having multiples of these cards recently, and even to the point where it might make sense to start canceling. That's right, I said the C word. Let's talk about it. Big problem number 1 is that these elite credit cards have overlapping or competing benefits. Take for instance the American Express Platinum Card. We have a $200 hotel credit as well as a $200 airline fee credit. Collectively, we can refer to those as travel credits. Then we've got one for Uber/Uber Eats for either food delivery or ride shares, however you want to use that. And then lastly, we have the Global Lounge Collection, which of course is a very comprehensive program to access different airport lounges around the world. But as we move over to the Chase Sapphire Reserve, we'll notice a pretty similar theme. This card also gives you up to $300 in travel credits. To satisfy your rideshare and food delivery needs, it also has partnerships with both Lyft and DoorDash, either giving you credits or elevated rewards and benefits with these 2 partners. And lastly, it also gives you complimentary airport lounge access. And what about the Capital One Venture X? That one also has a $300 travel credit with different terms, of course, but overall it's still within the travel category. And while there aren't any partner benefits for ride shares and food delivery, at least not yet, we'll see what the future holds, it also does give you some airport lounge access. You can see 3 different networks here that are being built out across the US and hopefully globally as well. But the fun doesn't end just there. It continues with even more benefits such as no foreign transaction fees, global entry or TSA pre-check credits, travel or retail protections, transfer partners and or alliance partners, and more. Look, all 3 of these cards are great on their own, but do you really need 3 Priority Pass memberships, or perhaps even just 2 to get you into the same Plaza Premium Lounge network? Or bringing back all 3, do you really need Uber and DoorDash and Lyft all together? Maybe so, but probably not. Let's continue our discussion. Big problem number 2 is that these elite credit cards have increasing annual fees. Now, in fairness, most credit cards that have any sort of annual fee of any amount do tend to increase over time as well. But of course, the ones with the biggest annual fees tend to sting the most. Here we've got the Amex Platinum Card at $695 per year. Previously, it cost only $550, and even before that, it was $450. The Chase Sapphire Reserve is at $550, previously at $450. The Capital One Venture X is at $395 as it was at launch. However, that card has not yet been on the market long enough to really have any major change yet, but we can pretty much be sure of what will happen in the not so distant future. The Delta SkyMiles Reserve American Express card is now at $650, up from $550 on its previous rate. The Citi Advantage Executive World Elite MasterCard is now at $595, where it used to be $450. The United Mileage Plus Club card, which is now called the United Club Infinite card, by the way, is at $525. Earlier, it was at $450. The Hilton Honors Aspire also went up from $450 to the current $550. And now with the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant, this one saw a huge increase of $200 from the previous $450, now $650 per year. That means just having these 3 cards alone could cost you $1,640 per year. Yikes. Can some people justify that? Probably so. Can everybody justify that? Definitely not. As you'll see toward the end of this video with our last big problem, it will be pretty revelatory for a lot of people. The third big problem is that elite credit cards are becoming more like coupon books that expire every year and with specific merchants and or restrictions. Which is a bit of a shame because a lot of these cards are marketed as giving you like the ticket or the passport to explore the world and have more luxurious experiences, when in reality, they kind of put you into a smaller box. Let's take a look at the most famous example. Back to the Amex Platinum Card, we have a $200 hotel credit, $240 for digital entertainment, $155 toward a Walmart Plus membership, $200 for Uber/Uber Eats, $200 for an airline fee credit, up to $100 with Saks Fifth Avenue, $300 with Equinox, $189 with Clear, and the list goes on from there. Switching over to the Sapphire Reserve, we also have stuff with Lyft, DoorDash, Peloton, and Instacart. Some of these are membership programs, others give you credits, others give you elevated rewards, and still others might be a blend of any of those types of things. And this brings me to something that I never saw coming. Not only do we have these travel-based elite cards, but they're kind of losing their attachment from just being core travel and becoming more of travel lifestyle types of cards. But the real part that I never could have predicted was that we also see this same trend coming to the airline-specific cards and to some degree even the hotel cards. With its recent refresh, the City Advantage Executive Card now features up to $120 in Lyft credits, up to $120 back on eligible Avis and budget car rentals, and also another $120 on eligible Grubhub purchases. The Delta SkyMiles Reserve, also having undergone a recent refresh, now will give you $240 for a Resi credit, $120 for a rideshare credit, and a $200 Delta Stays credit. And just because it has the word Delta in there does not mean that this is a credit for your flights. Delta Stays refers to prepaid hotels and vacation rentals. And to toss in a hotel credit card to the mix, although this one does not have any partner-specific credits to use at this time, there are some heavy restrictions on a lot of the credits and benefits with the Hilton Honors Aspire card. That $400 credit for Hilton resorts can literally only be used at resorts, which is not all properties in the portfolio, and only up to $200 at a time every 6 months of the year. That $200 flight credit is broken down into quarterly credits, capped at $50 each, and the $100 property credit for Hilton is only for 2-night minimum stays. They must be consecutive, by the way, and only at the brands of Waldorf Astoria and Conrad. Even for the minority of people watching this video who would actually use all these credits based on their normal lifestyle, you probably will have a little bit of credit overwhelm nonetheless to remember which ones are monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, or full-on annual. And even more frustrating, referring back to all the ones that may overlap between multiple cards to remember which card you've already used versus which one you haven't. That was big problem number one. Okay, so if you've gotten to this point of the video based on what we've talked about so far and what we have yet to talk about, I want to make it clear that these elite cards are not bad in and of themselves. Rather, you've just got to be extremely careful about which ones you decide to apply for. So if you do determine that one or more of these cards make sense for you, then make sure that you prioritize security. That's because whenever you apply for a new card or bank online, you want to make sure your information is secure and get alerted if it's not. You're doing your best to create a better financial future for yourself. So don't let a scammer take that away from you. Have you ever Googled yourself and were shocked to find your personal information exposed on one of those public listing sites? These sites can have your full name, email, and even your personal address. That's why I'm excited to tell you about today's sponsor, Aura. Aura can identify the data brokers exposing your info and submit opt-out requests on your behalf. You can try Aura free for 2 weeks using my link right here. Aura also includes so much more to protect you and your family from online threats, including a built-in antivirus software, VPN, password management tool, identity theft protection, and more. It basically gives you a single place to go for your online protection needs at one affordable price. I also love the ability to get alerts whenever my credit report is viewed and when a new card gets reported for the first time. You can either let people continue to exploit and profit off your private information, or you can take action by going to aura.com/MarkReese to begin your 2-week free trial. I'll also put the link down below in the description, that way we can get to it really easily. Now back to the rest of the video. Let's continue forward with big problem number 4. Elite credit cards have limited reward structures. Check out arguably the most premium out of all the cards we're talking about in today's video, the Amex Platinum Card. This one only awards you 5 points per dollar on flights if you book them directly with the airlines or via Amex Travel, capped at $500,000 per calendar year, which is a very generous limit. Then 5 points per dollar on prepaid hotels, but only if you book them through AmexTravel.com. And outside of those two categories, it's just 1 point per dollar on everything else. The Delta SkyMiles Reserve card is actually even worse. This one gives you 3 miles per dollar on your Delta purchases when you purchase them directly with Delta, and then just 1 mile per dollar on all of your other purchases. The Capital One Venture X definitely looks better when you just see the multipliers by themselves, but digging a bit deeper, you will note the restrictions. You'll get 10 miles per dollar here on hotels and rental cars, but only if you book them through Capital One Travel. Same goes for the flights. Here you'll get 5 miles per dollar, again, only if you book them through Capital One Travel. But then the nice part here is that it does give you a nice double miles on all of your other purchases, whether they're through the portal or not. And then we have the Chase Sapphire Reserve, which looks like the most generous out of all of them, but again, to earn the highest level of rewards, they do have restrictions with the portal here too. So 5 points per dollar are going to be given to you on flights, but only when you purchase travel through the Chase Ultimate Rewards portal, and also after you've used your $300 credit. That's because that first $300 of travel spend you do does not earn any points if it counts toward that credit. You can also earn 10 points per dollar on hotels and rental cars, but only if you purchase them directly through Chase. Again, after the first $300 credit is used. It also excludes, on the hotel front, the Luxury Hotel and Resort Collection portal. And for the 10x multiplier on Chase Dining, well, that also has to be done through the Chase portal too. It really is a double-edged sword. On one hand, you can earn a lot more points, miles, etc. faster if you use the portals whenever it's required to do so. But portals do have their own restrictions. Perhaps they may have limited inventory, maybe higher prices, or more difficulty dealing with customer service should you ever need it. Big problem number 5. Elite credit cards have a big opportunity cost. Perhaps you sense this a little bit already from what we've discussed in this video so far, but here are a few concrete examples with 3 of the cards. With the American Express Platinum Card, to justify your annual fee, you'll need to spend at merchants and partners like Equinox, Walmart, different streaming providers, Saks Fifth Avenue, etc. And on those purchases, by the way, you're only going to be earning 1 point per dollar. With the Hilton Honors Aspire credit card, to get your $200 flight credit, you can only earn up to $50 maximum per quarter or every 3 months of the year. And then for your $400 Hilton Honors Resort credit, that can only be earned up to $200 every 6 months at those resort locations. Last time I checked, and if I did my math correctly, there were only around 240 Hilton Honors Resorts properties out of the total portfolio, which is over 7,500. So let's say around 3% of the overall portfolio is where you can use that credit. And let's also not forget that as you spend on the Hilton Honors Aspire card, you earn Hilton points, which is great for those of you who want to do that, but they're much more limited and way less flexible than Amex membership rewards points or Chase Ultimate Rewards points, for example. And third, with the Capital One Venture X, to earn at the highest rates, that was 5x or 10x, again, as we mentioned, you have to spend only via the Capital One Travel portal, no other options here, and therefore you may be giving up the potential lower prices that could be found elsewhere outside of Capital One's portal, or perhaps even more options. And to wrap things up here with our 6th and final problem, elite credit cards make you forget how much you actually travel. There's no denying that these cards are hyped up to the absolute maximum with all the marketing and advertising campaigns, giving you things like elite status, upgrades, special credits, partner discounts, and more. But you really have to ask yourself, would I normally be spending in all these areas doing all these things every year if I didn't have the card, which perhaps you don't right now? So will adding the card to your life cause you to spend more money than you would not normally spend otherwise? And then the other half of this is how often would you be doing these types of things? It's nice if you can get an upgrade on your flight or an upgrade at your room, late checkout, whatever benefits that come with the card too. But if you only take 1 or 2 trips a year, remember, you're paying a $500 annual fee for that one-time upgrade or that special, discount on your in-flight purchases, whatever benefits the card provides you with. So in the example of not traveling very frequently, it's not like you were really going to pay a $550 annual fee and go get $5,000 of value. You might have only gotten $300 of value. So you actually had an out-of-pocket cost of $250 in that case. Meaning you didn't actually save any money, you actually still spent money. Hopefully that gives you all a lot of great things to think about, whereas in years past, with lower annual fees, fewer partner credits, and way fewer overlap between cards, it made a lot more sense to have 3 or 4 premium cards for different purposes. But now that we're seeing so much overlap and crossing over between the different partners that are out there, it's probably going to be a lot more difficult to make sense and extract the maximum value out of a $600 annual fee over and over again across different cards. For a lot of people, it could now mean the difference between applying for just one card, be it a general travel card or a specific branded card, perhaps with the airline or hotel that you use the most. With all that said, if you enjoyed today's video and believe it could benefit other people, please help me get it in front of them by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and turning on those notifications. Also, check out the links down below in the description area to earn some more cash back when you shop online through Rakuten. You can even choose to earn Amex membership rewards points instead of cash back if you choose to do so, to get your 2-week free trial with Aura and protect yourself online, and to view my site with some great credit card offers that I've organized into different categories to help you find the cards that you like best. Also, on the days where I'm not posting a video, be sure to check out the community tab of this channel to stay informed about great deals and offers that may be for a limited time. I thank you all for watching today's video. Hope it brought you some great value. And if you decide that an elite credit card does still deserve a place in your wallet, then you definitely want to watch this other video right here where I talk about the strategy that 99% of people neglect. I'll see you over there.